What's going on, everyone? So as we all anxiously wait around for the official announcement of Scream 7, don't expect it anytime soon. Obviously, we're going through all of the strikes, the writers and the actor strike, and once that clears up, and hopefully in a proper manner, that will lead to the announcement of Scream 7. We know Scream 7 is already in the works. It's going to come out sooner or later, depending on how everything shapes up. And then, there's still the process of them trying to figure out all the things behind the scenes to actually get this movie accomplished, right? But even with that, there's still a lot of questions on the horizon as far as what is going to happen with like Neve Campbell, right? Is she going to return? There's sort of rumors and speculations that they were in conversation before all of the strikes took place. Is Courtney Cox going to come back? Now, there's some rumors that Courtney Cox and Melissa Barrera are already signed on. That would be great, but Melissa Barrera's got a couple projects. She's supposed to go with Radio Silence to go and work on that monster film. Jenna Ortega, right? She's a hot commodity right now and has a bunch of projects in the works. Are they going to be able to bring her back? And then the biggest thing, outside of like the actors, of course, because that's important for Scream, is the behind the work scenes, right? What's going to happen with Radio Silence? There's a lot of talk and speculation that Radio Silence, it might be it. Like they may go and do these other projects. Supposed to be doing Game New York type film, and then they're doing another monster style film. So there is a lot of question marks in that regard. But it looks like we got some information and maybe some confirmation as to what is going on with Radio Silence. And shout outs to my buddy, Craven Something Scary. I'm sure many of you are familiar with him. If you're not, definitely go check out a link in the description, Craven Something Scary. This information was presented to him, and it came from a very reliable source. Obviously, that kind of stuff has to be hush-hush, so can't reveal sources or anything like that, but we got some inside information courtesy of Craven Something Scary, and also go check out his video on it. But moving on, Radio Silence, based on the information, is no more. There are some rumors that I've seen going around that they may return as a consultant and stuff, but based on the information that was relayed to me, again, through Craven Something Scary, it looks like, no, that's it. They're going to go do their own projects, and we are going to get a new Scream film helmed by a new director or directors, or however they go about it, right? The writers, by all intents and purposes, seem to be the same writers. So you're going to have Guy and, Vanderbilt and all of them. They're going to continue to write Scream 7. So that could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, depending on how you feel about the writing of Scream 5 or 6. I know a lot of people are on the fence. Me personally, there have been some good things and some bad things, right? Like some things have just been, I feel, terribly written, or just the lack of creativity at times. But it hasn't been like god awful, but still, I feel like it could be better. And then, of course, Radio Silence, they directed the last two films. And when you're replacing them, that usually means that there's going to be a change, right? You're not going to have the same level of just direction, because a new director is going to come in and they're going to have their own style and their own pace and their own vision for how this should be delivered. And that sometimes can translate in a negative light. That sometimes can translate into a film not being as good as the previous ones, right? Now, in the same idea, it's always possible that they're better, right? Maybe the different direction, maybe they come in and they kind of have this other outlook for it, and it is perceived better, right? Like that could be definitely a possibility. That's kind of the best case scenario, is that still we get a new director and they just kill it. But I think Radio Silence has done a great job, right? I've been a supporter and a defender of Radio Silence on numerous occasions. Also, a lot of people seem to forget that they're the directors, they're not the writers. So I see a lot of people like kind of go after them for like things that were, said or written in the film, and it's like, they're not the ones that are behind the scenes writing it. They're just the ones that take the paper and turn it into screen, right? So something just kind of keep in mind. The director does not write the films. But Radio Silence, again, I thought have done a very good job. They were fanboys for Scream. They were very active and vocal in the community, and very, willing to have conversations and do interviews and all of that. And that just also always translates well to the success of a film, because you feel more personal, you feel more connected to just people that are putting their name out there, people that are putting their face out there, rather than somebody that's just kind of behind the scenes and just, not really mingling with the people that are supporting the work that you're doing, right? Like, that is something that could be major. It's why, we do live streams and stuff like that. Yeah, I know myself, like, a lot of these videos are just images on screen, but it's because to get the point across better, give you an actual visual other than just my beautiful face constantly. But that's why we do live streams and we have conversations and stuff like that to better translate, because it brings in an audience that is more receptive to you, right? That's always good. But now without radio silence, there's obviously going to be that concern of like, will these translate well? But there was that same concern when Scream 5 was coming, right? What will Scream look like without Wes Craven? Can a Scream film even look well done without Wes Craven? Like, how is it going to go? And I thought that these guys did a good job of kind of capturing the modern sort of appetite for horror, right? The pace was a lot faster. It was a lot more darker, brutal. Ghostface was a little less nonsense as opposed to like previous films where Ghostface kind of clumsy, kind of goofy in a lot of ways, where this Ghostface was kind of no nonsense. Like, if you survived, it's because Ghostface wanted you to survive. Otherwise, if Ghostface got you in its sights, then that's it. You're done, right? Like, and that, I think, really translated well to the modern era. Scream 5, I thought it was good, not great. Scream 6, I thought was better than 5, but still have a lot of gripes with it. But again, like, that has nothing to do with radio silence. I thought, and I've said this repeatedly, I thought the cinematography was great. I thought the just undertones, all of those things, like, from a directorial standpoint, I thought that it was great. I thought it was very well done. I really applauded radio silence for the way that they went about this. Certain shots, certain scenes, sequences, things like that, the way they were able to capture that, I thought really just translated well for the Scream fandom. And now it looks like Christopher Landon is going to be the one that is going to take over. And now this makes sense. So based on the information received, the whole radio silence departing was decided even long before the strike. Like, this isn't new. This wasn't new information, right? Or at least for a behind the scenes thing. This was something that was already worked out long before. And it made sense, right? We talked about it. Other people talked about it. That there was the whole conversation of, is radio silence going to return? And if so, why is Christopher Landon all of a sudden following all of the Scream people, right? Like, that was a real question. And it turns out that it looks like he's going to be the one that's directing this upcoming Scream film. And I'm okay with it. I think based on what we've seen from the most recent Scream films, that it kind of fits his style. It kind of fits what he likes to do. He's also a guy that has directed films that have translated and had some success, right? Like, for example, Happy Death Day. That's a film that I think, from like a meta, just comedic style, right? I think that he could kind of hit that. My only concern about Christopher Landon, and I definitely want to make a full video on it, especially once we get like actual like confirmation from the studio, like, hey, he's the one that's taking over. But it makes a lot of sense. Again, I don't think you just randomly out of nowhere just start following all the Scream cast unless you're involved somehow, some way. And him as a director, I don't think he's going to be working with radio silence. I think he's replacing radio silence. But my one concern with him is a lot of his movies are very, like, yeah, they're horror, but also a little more on the comedy side than Scream. Like, Scream has its comedic moments. It has, like, its, like, tongue-in-cheek moments, right? It has its meta. It has all of those things. But still, for the most part, it's pretty brutal, right? And even, like, 96, they had to cut, like, half of that film in order to get an R rating, because they were trying to get an X rating because it was just so brutal. So my one concern from him is that he kind of makes it too much of a comedic twist to it. And I hope not, right? I like the darkness of Scream. It's more modern, in my opinion. But again, this is a guy who did Paranormal Activity, the marked ones, Happy Death Day, as I said, Happy Death Day 2, Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. We have a Ghost, Burning Palms. Like, these are all, and Freaky. Also forgot to mention Freaky. Which, again, you look at Happy Death Day, you look at Freaky, you can easily see that and go, okay, like, if we just remove the comedy side, it is something that is up his alley. It is something that you could absolutely see him do and have success at. And so I'm excited for him and looking forward to it. But no, there is an argument, should they just go fresh, right? But if they're keeping the writers, my guess is that they kind of have this be the conclusion film, right? Everything kind of tie together. So that's kind of my guess. And what they do is like, hey, full circle, bring it together, let's go, right? Like, here you go. And then maybe if Christopher Landon in the Scream film have success, maybe then he directs another film or two. Because, I mean, like I said, you could do Scream forever. You could. The beauty of Scream is that it's not a Michael Myers, where it's like, well, you know, how do you keep innovating and reinventing the wheel? It's like, no, like every film is a different person under the mask. The mask is just the guise for the person that's under it, right? So I think you could, you know, if you have success with Christopher Landon, right, give him another one. Like, get a fresh film, you know, maybe with a new cast and stuff like that, and kind of move away from the bloodline tie-ins and the legacy characters and stuff. I mean, we already saw that Scream can be successful without Sidney Prescott. I know a lot of people are disappointed about that and want her back, and maybe she does come back for Scream 7, but, you know, you can't have her forever. And, you know, I would personally, as a Scream fan, would like to have the films, right? I'd like them to keep going. So, I don't know. Time will tell. We'll see how it translates and all this, but it is pretty interesting that Radio Silence is going to be moving away, especially in like the middle of a trilogy, right? You got your first two films, and then the idea was to do a trilogy, and now they're going to go work on their other projects, which is good for them, right? I fully hope that they have a world of success. I'm rooting for them. I'm happy for them. I definitely want them to, you know, be able to continue to grow and build their name. You know, but I still want Scream to exist, right? I still want Scream to continue and grow and go in different directions and all that stuff and try new things. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? What do you think of Christopher Landon? What do you think of Radio Silence departing? Again, I mean, it could change. You never know, right? Maybe something else happens and, you know, turns out that, you know, Christopher Landon can't do it, or, you know, maybe Radio Silence goes, you know what, we'll do a third one, and then Christopher Landon, he can have let's finish the trilogy, and then he could have it. But as of right now, it looks like that's it for Radio Silence. So what are your thoughts and opinions? I'd love to hear it, so let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. It helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button, follow the bell notification, stay up to date with all things Scream, doing this wonderful community and all of our discussions. See you all in the next one. Thank you.